Hello. Hello, everybody. I have a new co-host. No. Little boy. You have anything to say to the people? You have anything to say to the people? See if we can get him to do this. What up, sheeple? You can do it. Oh. Well, now I just look insane.
He has been doing that lately. He'll do this.
You gonna do it?
Okay. Yeah.
Do it. Do it. Oh. He started to do it. Cal's in a good mood tonight, I see. He just woke up from a nap. As did I.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good job.
Has he grown out of his fixation with the mic? No. I think he's just really into looking at what's on the screen right now. Given enough time, I'm sure he would have gone for his favorite snack. What is up, everybody? My name is Chillpill, and we are about to continue the Castlevania Advanced Collection with some more Harmony of Dissonance. What was I gonna say? Today won't be too long. He's taking the controller from his old man. Yeah, and he's gonna be much stronger than me, so he'll be able to do it. I really wanted to get a haircut sooner rather than later, but my hairstylist has been out with having done some back surgery, so my hair is very unruly. Get out of the way, Dad. I got this. Yeah, I gotta kick his ass at Mario Kart as much as I can and enjoy it as much as I can for the tables turn, because I'm sure they will quickly. Speaking of Mario Kart, a little bit of good news today. Nintendo actually made good with their promise of rolling out their own pre-orders, their special pre-orders that were kind of similar to how the Steam did pre-orders for the Steam Deck, in that you had to have an account and so many hours or whatever on your account to be able to pre-order it, so it staved off all the scalpers. And today they actually sent out an invitation to me to pre-order the Mario Kart bundle, and I was not able to get that whenever I did my pre-order originally through Best Buy. So I canceled my one through Best Buy today and successfully got the Mario Kart one. I'm excited. I'm not super thrilled about the price of Mario Kart, but I am happy that I was able to get it basically $30 cheaper than what it's supposed to be now. I don't know if you saw, but Xbox has also started to increase its, or is about to do increases on prices of its hardware and software, including first-party games being $80 and putting basically $100 additional on top of all of their systems and all that shit. And it's really gross, and it's Ain't it a coincidence? Yeah, it makes me super happy. And this is I was listening to a podcast, and I never really realized until today, but they're absolutely right. The era of the Switch, the PS5, and the Xbox, whatever the hell this one is the last era, or is the first era where we haven't seen a price drop. The only thing that we have seen is actually a price increase, or the price stay the same. That is not a super fun new trend with how things are going in the economy. That was one of the things that always made me excited about things like Black Friday and all that was, I don't have a 3DS XL, but here comes a package of like a 3DS XL and a Mario game, and it's $50 less than what it normally is, and it's like, oh, so now I can. This is just hypothetical, but it's just like, oh, now I can finally get a 3DS XL because it's affordable to me. And I've been holding off, and now I've got like all these games that I can go and buy that there's just like a good backlog and blah, blah, blah. That doesn't happen anymore. And it's not going to happen ever again, apparently. It's only going to get more expensive. And Sony is just waiting a little longer because if all three go at the same time, then it's super obvious. And the thing is, people always say, oh, but inflation. But back in the day, we never bought games at full price. We waited till the price came down to like $20, but they never do that anymore. Yeah, and that's something that Nintendo finally needs to bite the bullet on. Like, they're going to see worse software sales because of $80 games already, but they're definitely going to see worse software sales because they never put their first-party games on sale. I don't want to see Mario Kart World be $80 in 3 years, but that's what's going to happen. I'm thankful that I have a job where I can buy a game from time to time in this economy and not have it break my bank. But god damn it, the way that things are going, I'm even thinking like, well, shit. Someone like me that works in medicine and all that is thinking, am I getting priced out of gaming? Like, this is too much. Do what? Oh. Yeah. Don't they sell old Game Boy games for like 20? Oh, didn't they sell old? Yeah, well, see, I'm gonna take Ratter's advice and just start the game here. That was a interesting lo-fi mix of some Castlevania stuff. See, the interesting thing was, I know you weren't a big Nintendo fan back in the day. Well, maybe you were. Space, I can't remember. I know that you enjoyed video game or Nintendo stuff, but I digress. There used to be a thing called Nintendo Selects, and that would be like the biggest games on like the GameCube or the Wii or whatever, and they would just be super cheap version of a popular game. They don't do that anymore. Despite having zero cost, since it's all digital and the bandwidth for the downloads is actually less than the bandwidth for the damn eShop. Yeah, and speaking of this generation might actually make me slow down on buying physical games, because, quite honestly, I am running out of room on my shelf, but also... Oh, hey, thank you. Who's that? Outstanding Man 2000. Welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you for joining the flock. But yeah, this might be the generation where I stop buying as much physical games purely because everything is going to digital or a key card. So it's like, I don't really want to buy the opportunity to download something on the eShop. I want the game to actually be on the card. I don't want it to just unlock the ability to download it. At that point, what is the point of having it physically on my shelf? There isn't any. So it's kind of like a begrudging, I guess I'm just going to go digital this generation kind of feeling, but I don't know. Not all of the games are going to be keycard and download only and whatever, but it seems like a lot of games are going that direction, so I'm just kind of like, I'm just gonna go digital. Back in the day, I was a huge Nintendo fan. In fact, here's the complete list of consoles I've ever owned. NES, SNES, N64, GameCube, Game Boy, GBA, DS, Switch, and Wii. Actually, I did own an Xbox 360 for a hot minute. Xbox 360 was like, no, I take that back. God, which one do I have? The one before the series, or whatever the hell it's called now. Whatever the new generation is. I've got the mini or the digital, no, the small version of that. Series X? I don't know. I will say this, as bad as Nintendo is at naming conventions for their stuff, I would say that the king of I can't name a single console from this producer or game company to save my life is most definitely Xbox. I cannot figure out which generation is which. I knew the Xbox and I knew the Xbox 360. But then everything after that starts to blur together. Hello, everyone. Happy to join you all for the Castlevania Advanced Collection with Harmony Dissonance. Hope you are all having happy Thursdays so far with our player BSV. Tampa, Florida here. Yes, we are having a good night. Oh, I started this off with the wrong thing. Are we getting botted? I don't know. Maybe. But I digress. I have an Xbox something. But it's been the one console that I'm just like, I would rather play this stuff on PlayStation, or I'd rather play this stuff on Nintendo, and then fail that, I would rather play it on Steam. I don't think there's anything on Xbox for like Microsoft shit that I'm just like, oh yeah, I gotta play this on there. And now that they've made everything so accessible on Xbox or on the computer, because you can play Microsoft shit on computers, so what is even the point of owning an Xbox? I see absolutely zero point in Microsoft doing another generation of physical consoles. That really does just feel like their play everywhere prerogative is just like, well, then why even bother making this console if you're just going to make everything available to computer as well? So, I don't know. To me, the Xbox has always been the oh, also and console. Is just kind of like, yeah, it's here. It also has the ability to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I guess, if you want to go that route. But really, you should either play it on PlayStation 5 or play it on Steam whenever it comes there. The thing is, Xbox has always been more of a vibe than a console. It really has. Like, even their first-party games are super fucking lame. If you aren't a Halo fan, they basically have nothing for you. Halo and Forza, I guess. No, Call of Duty is on all the systems except for Nintendo. The one thing that Microsoft does have now is they own Bethesda, so they get all the Bethesda shit early. But Bethesda knows that they need to make sure that their stuff is available for everybody to play, so it's just a limited time exclusivity. So they don't even have that. It's like Elder Scrolls 6 comes out onto the Xbox fart vagina whatever thing, and oh well, just have a little bit of patience because it'll be out on literally everything else in a year. It's like the console that gym bros and construction workers aren't afraid to admit they own. Guys who call people who know how to turn on a computer nerds, and they think that it's an insult. Yeah. And also, the only thing that they own for it is Call of Duty and Madden. Like, I doubt those kinds of people would even think about touching a Halo game, so you don't even get their flagship title. Okay, so I think that's everything that I can do here. I got all of the stuff for my little weird apartment thingy, my bedroom. Yeah, Madden 2K, COD, those are options. Yeah. Yeah, the 2K, just sports series in general. NHL, NBA, MLB. Sports games and COD. That's the most America series of games I think we could possibly think of. Damn it. Hold up. What? Oh, okay. I was like, I healed myself and saved, but I was still poisoned. It's the reason why the Xbox never really took off in Japan. Oh yeah, exactly. But also, it's one of those things where it's like, you have cheaper options to get things on Nintendo and PlayStation because those are consoles that are made directly in your country. You know, like, why would you even consider getting an Xbox and importing that? And it's crazy. This loose clothing is much better. We're gonna go with that. Feel nice and loosey-goosey. Ew. Ah! Oh, shit. Yeah, looking at the Xbox sales numbers in Japan is really, really, really funny. The consoles I have are the Atari 2800, NES, Super NES, original GBA, Super GBA, GBA Color, Sega Master System, Mega Drive, Sega Genesis, Dreamcast, N64, GameCube, PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, Nintendo 3DS, Switch, and Xbox 360. See that? Exactly. Like, the Xbox 360 was like the last good like recognizable system that Microsoft turned out. Like, look at all those systems that Outstanding has. Like, literally everything in the in the Nintendo lineup, everything that's a mainline PlayStation thing. Oh, and Xbox 360. It's so true. That's the exact sentiment. And like, to your point, Space, it's like I feel like everybody at one point for a little bit owned an Xbox 360, and like that's pretty much the best that Microsoft can hope for. Do you have a favorite system, Outstanding? My favorite systems for anything. So I would say PlayStation. I feel like the PS3 had a really good array of games. The Super NES here, nice. I feel like for PlayStation, my favorite was the PS3, maybe PS4. I go between those two. Then for Nintendo, I grew up with the SNES, but I would have to say my favorite console for Nintendo is definitely the GameCube. Handheld-wise, I would say my favorite handheld was the 3DS, and oh god, I loved the PSP. The PSP was so good. But yeah, those are my favorites. Ratter's favorite is the Switch. You kind of, you sound like a like Gen Alpha sneaking into the chat, being like, the best one is the Switch because that's what I grew up with. I mean, to be fair, the Switch is good in regards to actually being able to play classics and whatnot now. So, and also, your nostalgia is basically, you had a Game Boy Color when you were little that you had like 2 games for, three, and then you got to play Mario 64 at your dad's house, and you got to play Harvest Moon 64 with your friend Danielle. Both of them were Danielle. And then you didn't touch another video game until the Wii, whenever we started dating. So that's Ratter's video game history summed up. I think the Switch was the one I just didn't have a positive experience with, not just because it died immediately, but because I hate the eShop. You're not the only one who hates the eShop, and apparently that's something that they are fixing with the Switch 2, is just I need to see how they are doing it and what it means, but it sounds to me like they are finally going to give you a way to filter out the garbage. Like, that's the thing. It's like the eShop is incredibly slow, and it's impossible to find anything in new releases that doesn't look like, honestly, if you were to see it anywhere else, you would think that it'd be like just rife with malware. I still remember playing with my dad and sister on the consoles. We love the action adventure games like Castlevania series and Devil May Cry series. I just recently watched. Oh, hello, Redder.
Oh shit! Alright!
I just recently watched one of my favorite streamers play through every single Devil May Cry game. Except for 2. And I have played through every single Devil May Cry game. And that's a series that I have extreme reverence for. And I have enjoyed. But I will definitely say that it's not my all-time favorite series that Capcom has ever done. But I certainly do enjoy what they did with Devil May Cry 3 and 5. Can you imagine how much money Nintendo would make if they put their games on Steam? Yeah. I don't know that they ever would. Although, I wouldn't rule it out. It seems like they're becoming a little bit less... what's it called? Firm with their IPs. Although, in some ways, it seems like they're getting stupidly more firm with their IPs. Like, Pal World apparently had to change one of their mechanics outright recently, like in the last couple of days, because of the lawsuit that Game Freak filed. And that mechanic was using your not a Pokemon to glide. They're not allowed to have that thing glide because apparently they own the copyright on gliding with your Pokemon, which is fucking stupid. So they had to change it to an actual glider. Let me remind you, they literally sued a Costa Rican supermarket because the owner's name was Mario. Yeah, they're incredibly stupid.
Juice, have you found Lydia? You're Maxim, aren't you? Hey, what do you mean by that? Nothing. Forget it. So tell me, how did you fare? I found nothing yet, but my memory is slowly coming back to me. Really? So Lydia is somewhere in this castle after all? Yes, I'm sure of that now. And I know that I've also been here before. And there's something I think you should know. Go ahead. You can tell me anything. The day you inherited the title of Vampire Hunter, I felt as if a wall had been erected between us, and for that reason, I set out on my expedition. I wanted to be better than you and relieve you of your fate. Long ago, you told me of Dracula's remains. Do you remember that? Yes, I remember. The story of how my grandfather Simon gathered Dracula's remains and destroyed them to undo his curse. I thought my wishes would be granted if I too could gather and destroy them. What? You found them? According to legend, it's still too early for Dracula's resurrection. It is not like anyone is cursed right now either. At first, I was doubtful that I could find all his remains, but I uncovered 6 parts as if guided by a higher being. That's impossible. I have little memory of what occurred after that, but the remains have vanished. I do remember clearly, though, that Lydia was kidnapped. If true, Dracula's bodily remains may be giving rise to this castle. Forgive me. This is my fault. I'm not the one you should be seeking forgiveness from. You ought to apologize to Lydia first. We must hurry and find her. Yes, you're right. Okay, I'll be off then. Maxim, I believe in you. Thanks, Juiced. However you say it.
Alright, give me a second. Dog is barking. Alright. Onward and upward. Where are we going? Ooh. We in the sky now. Wow, those clouds are just fucking sprinting by. Got a high potion. The wall did what? You heard him. So, I just noticed this today, and this really bothers me. I haven't taken the game out or the game card out of my system yet. But why is it that Glover has to have in quotation or in parentheses Cubite Classics? That's so stupid. Look, nothing else has anything. It's not like Monster Hunter Rise, Capcom. It's so dumb. Why? And also, Cubite. Have they done literally anything else besides the wonderful, wonderful game that is Glover 64? I don't think so. So how can you have a classics? That's like having your first music album be a best of. That doesn't make sense. Ah. Nah, I want that. Okay, well, that's pointless. Cubite Classics. The best that Glover could hope for is just meme status. To call it a classic anything is giving it too much credit. It's not even like a meme. It's like a meme on this channel, but that's it. Nobody else cares about Glover. So there's this guy that does a lot of modding of Banjo-Kazooie, and something that he recently made is called Banjo-Kazooie Nostalgia 64. And it's a really, really interesting game because it's not just Banjo-Kazooie, it's a bunch of different games from the N64, or yeah, because it'll be like levels from Mario 64 built like a Banjo-Kazooie level, or levels from GoldenEye built like a Banjo-Kazooie level. But the one thing that stood out to me is motherfucker had a level from Glover. It's like, what? Why would anybody pay homage to this shit? So Rarely Cubite Interactive acquired the rights to several 8-bit and 16-bit games and re-released them all for platforms, naming the collection Cubite Classics. Okay, but what are they? What do they consider a classic? What wonderful titles fall under the moniker classic to Cubite? They gotta have something else besides Glover, though. Like, your company can't just survive off of... If you're just going off of Glover, your company is going to go under as soon as you come up with the idea of, hey, let's re-release Glover. Sorry, Cubite Classic is a brand with multiple collections. Anything actually noteworthy? But again, it seems silly to me that, woo, level up. It seems silly to me that, the game cart has to read as Glover parentheses Cubite Classics. That would be like Castlevania Advanced Collection, parentheses Konami, you know? On their website, they advertise a game called Zero Tolerance? What? That sounds like some, like, Bible game from, like, the 90s or something. I'm not really sure where I'm going here. I hope I get a save point soon, though. Ah! No! You want this? Whew! Are you sleeping? Other games include Deep Nightmare, One Step After Fall, Metroland. I mean, I've never heard of any of this shit. The only game on their website I recognize is Glover. That's insane. All of those games sound like shovelware you would find on the Nintendo eShop. Like, throw in a few of the quote-unquote hentai games from the Nintendo eShop, and yeah, that's just the crap that you find on there. Yeah, it looks like shovelware-esque. That's crap that you would find in, like, the 99-cent bin or, like, $5 bin at Walmart or whatever around Christmas, and Grandma buys it. What the fuck did you find hentai on eShop? No. It's not actually hentai. It's just called hentai something or other. Now I gotta show you so I don't sound like a pervert. And it's something loosely defined as hentai, and it's something that's loosely defined as a video game, honestly. Because it's usually just like a puzzle, and a really shitty puzzle at that. Wow, speaking of really, really good eShop experiences, I just slowed down the eShop by clicking the search button. How many hits do we get for that? 218! Look at this shit. 218 different games on here. Let's just choose a random one. Hentai Girls Naughty Gamer. And look at that. They are all like less than $3. And this is the riveting gameplay that you get. See, it's slide puzzles. This is it, and it's not even actually quote unquote hentai. It's just pictures of anime girls and a slide puzzle. Ratter's favorite. Yeah, exactly. Ratter's got it on her wish list. Complete puzzles of pretty... I want to read the description. Uh-oh. Slide puzzles. My nemesis. Complete puzzles of pretty anime girls in this relaxing puzzle game with over 30 levels. Once the puzzles are complete, you can enjoy admiring the girls in the gallery at your own time. Release date March 28th of last year. I mean, women are basically puzzles. Yeah, so this is the shit that I'm talking about. Like, this is dog water game stuff that just clogs up the eShop. It's just like, nobody's gonna buy this except for horny 12-year-olds that don't know better. But even horny 12-year-olds have probably seen something that actually resembles hentai in other capacities, like on other places on the internet. So like, they're not just gonna pay $2 to look at just a fucking JPEG of an anime girl. It's so fucking dumb. I hate it. I hate it so much, and it really just makes the whole thing look so cheap and shovelware-y, and Nintendo doesn't do anything about it. It's like, why? Like, at least with Steam, you can filter out words and genres and whatever that you don't want to see in your shop. It is locked with a magical spell. Where am I? Okay. Okay, well, it looks like this trip was for naught. But at least we got HP up, so that's nice. But yeah, that's, that was two, reasons right there why I detest using the Nintendo eShop for anything. Saw them back to back. One, I couldn't actually search anything because the eShop shit the bed and couldn't handle me clicking the search button. And two, just the stupid games that you find there, quote-unquote games you find there. Man, I don't know about you, but I know what I would have been looking up. I know what I would have been looking up if I had unrestricted access to the internet at 12 years old. I mean, yeah. I forget how old I was whenever shit like LimeWire and Kazaa were a thing, but I definitely remember downloading porn off of those in my teens. And now it's just super readily available. What a world. I mean, this is why the generations that grew up on nothing but the internet and didn't know the world beforehand just became so desensitized to porn and whatever, and that's why relationships became so weird. It's just everywhere. So you have to start... I feel like that's why things like foot fetish and whatever started to become a thing, or more prominently a thing. It's just like, yeah, anybody could see boobs, but have you seen this streamer's feet? No, can't say that I have. Well, I have, and they're hot. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's another thing. Ratter just brought up a good point. The feet thing basically started off as like a joke, a meme of whatever. Like, wouldn't it be hilarious if people just found feet sexy? Like, not for real, but, you know, wouldn't it be hilarious? And then it just became a thing, and people unironically started to become attracted to feet, and it's just like, okay, well, I guess this is life now. Gloves! Well, here's the thing. Porn sites themselves have evolved to match the time, so a lot of fetishes that used to be extremely popular are now not on offer on these sites. Yeah, and then other things, like, completely disappeared and got replaced with things that people are just like, really? That? Like all the family stuff now, quote unquote family, but it's like step bro, you know? It's like, that used to just be like a weird fetish thing that people are like, ugh, no, anything but that. And now people are like, yeah, but actually, what if that? And it just became prominent. And just like feet, it feels like it was a meme, and it just developed into its own thing. And became, unironically, a thing. And I hope you'll forget it, but if you were on the internet back in 2010, you know what categories they had. Yeah. You know the categories. Orange. And a silver trinket. I got a gold trinket and a silver trinket. So many trinkets. And it's not a trinket, it's obviously a candelabra. I guess that's too much for us Western brains to comprehend. Candelabra? What is that? It's a trinket, bro. They didn't want to call it gold shit and silver shit. People always try to ride the line, so when one fetish is suddenly considered over the line, they just go to the next most disturbing thing that's still somewhat socially acceptable. Can't wait to see where we are in, like, 10 years. Okay, now that I grabbed those trinkets, I should probably save before I fight this boss. And I am empty on my drink, so give me just a little bit and we will go fight this boss. I will be right back. Alright, let's go take on whatever this boss is. This wall is totally able to be destroyed. It's destructible, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. But I do not have the crushing tip, I believe is what it's called. When I first played this game, had such a hard time figuring out where the hell do I go from here, because I didn't realize that wall was destructible. So I did the thing that you kind of just do in all these earlier Castlevania games and struggle until you figure out the answer. What even are you? Devil. Okay. Cursed. Neato. So, cursed means I look like I shit my pants and I'm trying to find a new pair. Ow. At least in this one, when you get cursed, you can still whip. That's what I always hated about the other Castlevania games with curses. It means that you can't whip anything. That sucks a lot. But it is what it is. Uh-oh. Yeah, Quote, all mammals sneeze, biologist Faye. Interesting. We get a Faye quote. Of all the chill pill quotes, we get a Faye quote. Can't wait until they're not as busy with their new Babby, and they have Faye and Skeet have time to pop into these streams every once in a while. I miss having Faye come in during bath time or whatever, and just hanging out. Hashtag fuck my dick balls. There we go. Classic chill quote. Night goggles. Those looked a lot like glasses to me, but what do I know? Let's see. What does it raise? Intelligence and luck a little bit. Not worth it. Not worth it, says I. This chair be high, says I. Wow, I'm kind of upset that I wasted all my time going up and exploring up, and I ultimately just hit a dead end. The fuck is an ankle guard? That's the most specific piece of armor I've ever heard. Well, you know what? Oh, never mind. It was his heel. I was gonna say Achilles would have really appreciated that. Yeah, no. Ankle guard and wrist guard sound super useless. Unless it's like it extends further from the thing, you know, like it's a wrist guard, yes, but actually what it actually is like it gets the forearm, you know? Yeah, just had a little shield on his ankles and then takes an arrow to the heel. No! That's something that I need to get back to playing. Speaking of, I used to be an adventurer like you, and then I took an arrow to the knee. Need to play some more Oblivion. I was hoping that Patrick Stewart was in the game longer than just the first little bit. I like games where Patrick Stewart is the narrator or a character. Looks at Lords of Shadow. Oh, that's a nope from me, dog. Got hurt by the cursed sword. Goody. I don't think they could have afforded Patrick Stewart's voicing the entire game. Yeah, maybe if it was Bethesda circa the Skyrim and Fallout 4 era, but definitely not when Oblivion came out. Although I don't know, what was Patrick Stewart actually doing for money after Star Trek ended? Like, did he just kind of start doing classical theater like Ian McKellen? Sir Ian McKellen? Like, what did he do besides, like, star in movies from time to time? Patrick Stewart was a very high-demand narrator back then. I think he's still high demand now. Like, I dare say that he's in leagues with Morgan Freeman as far as sought-after narrators go. I wish I was born English, and then my voice would be interesting enough to narrate everything from YouTube videos to children's books. Like, I feel like being English is like an automatic win for narration and voice acting in general. You know? Did tons of voice work for National Geographic. That makes sense. I love the shit that they make him say on American Dad. It's like the most unhinged shit that you would never think somebody proper like Patrick Stewart would ever say. It's hilarious. Castle Map 3. Nice.
Nice.
Let's see. Where does Chill want to go? Chill wants to find another save room, if possible. Maybe... I think maybe I want to go to the middle rung there. I don't think I want to go this way just yet. Ah! I think I want to go this way. Disc armor. Oh. I love how the fleamen just burst into flames whenever I hit them with the whip. Ah! Scale armor. I wonder how that scales with my character. Lowers my intelligence like crazy, but raises my defense. Holy shit. So, just in the year Oblivion came out, he did Bambi 2, 11th Hour, X-Men The Game, X-Men The Last Stand, Borg War, The Audition, and Star Trek Legacy. You know what else he did? He was the poo emoji in the Emoji Movie. What a wonderful role to have to spend your money on Sir Patrick Stewart. Let's make him the poop emoji. It'll be funny. Those are classic games there. Ah, no. You big Castlevania fan, outstanding? Yes, I am. Nice. Yeah, I'm a huge Metroidvania fan, and I played through all of the Metroid stuff. So now, I'm playing through the Castlevania stuff. I absolutely adore Castlevania. It's one of my favorite non-Nintendo series, honestly. And I think that the Game Boy Advance, I think that my favorite games from the series that aren't Symphony of the Night, because everybody's favorite is Symphony of the Night, are definitely the handheld Nintendo games, like the DS games and the DS games and the Game Boy Advance games are like peak Castlevania. Fucking love it. Going to check out your Metroid gaming. Go for it, man. I've got a mega playlist of all of the Metroid games. I think the only ones that I didn't play were the ones on the 3DS, and I didn't play the original Game Boy Metroid 2. I played AM2R instead. But yeah, I played all of the Primes. I played all of the mainline Metroids. I love a lot of those games. Some of them are better than others, obviously, because that's how games work. But, yeah, Metroid... I never really thought that it would become a series that I hold as high regard as I do, but Metroid really did become my second favorite Nintendo franchise of all time. Ooh, a blob. I'm fighting a jelly bean! Max Slimer. My favorite Nintendo franchise is Zelda. And then my second favorite used to be Mario, I guess. I don't remember, but having played through all of the games recently, Metroid is definitely one of my all-time favorites. Love it. Wait, it wasn't National Geographic, it was a film called Earth that he did in 2007. I feel like I've seen that. What's your favorite Castlevania, outstanding? And if it's Symphony of the Night, what's your second favorite? I honestly don't know what my favorite Castlevania game is. It might be Portrait of Ruin, maybe? I don't know. Max Slimer sounds like a 90s cartoon villain. Kinda does, yeah. Burn! Woo! Level up! Give me that orb drop. Give me that orb drop. Hell yeah. Good! That or a horrible Ghostbusters spin-off. It'd be PlayStation 2 Lament of Innocence, where it begins with the war with Dracula and Belmont's clan. Is that one of the 3D ones? It has to be one of the 3D ones. I played Lords of Shadow for a hot second and was like, I'm not super into this, but I haven't played any of the other 3D Castlevanias yet, so I can't wait to actually try some 3D Castlevanias. And I was actually thinking, well, no, I lie. The first 3D Castlevania that I'm going to do is definitely going to be Castlevania 64, but I was thinking about doing the PS2 one after that. But yeah, I'm excited to try some 3D Castlevanias because I have never played one before, and I'm excited to experience it for the first time. Okay, where are we? We're gonna keep it going. Oh. Woo. Get that feather demon. Get that feather demon. Ooh, we get a new whip part. Greenstone. I think that adds wind to my thing. Adds wind attacks. Okay, let's see what that's like. Oh, yep. It's also on N64. It's also on the N64, Lament of Innocence. N64 one sounds entertaining to watch to the extent that your suffering provides entertainment. I wonder how it plays. Like, that's it. I have no idea what it would even play like. And yeah, going back to N64 stuff is just painful.
Death has returned. Mortal, you know of a man by the name of Maxim, do you not? Yes, I do. What about him? I believe that man has discovered objects that hold my lord's power. You mean Dracula's remains? My lord's fragmented remains. Now it all makes perfect sense. What on earth are you talking about? You have provided me with an answer, so I shall reward you with an explanation. It's simple. This castle is a creation of Maxim's will. What? But he's not capable of such a defeat. True of the original Maxim, but possession of my lord's remain changes everything. The castle's two spirits now embody my lord's power. The castle's two spirits? Two spirits exist now within his body. His original spirit and a wicked spirit born from my lord's remains. What a ridiculous notion. And so, two castles were born to embody the two spirits. Of the two spirits, the wicked one wanted the castles most. Wait a minute. What do you mean by two castles? Ignorant mortal. Don't you realize that this castle has two layers? I don't want to have anything more to do with you. Farewell. Wait! Are you running away from me? This castle as it is now is a transient one. I must go and aid its completion.
The fuck does that mean? What does that mean? What are you talking about? Every 3D N64 game has aged poorly. Hell, just about every 3D game for the N64 era has aged poorly. And so, two castles who loved each other very much. Yeah, they really have. Like, there's a handful that are... I feel like the best that you can say is they're playable.
This is the same place I was before, but the aura about it has changed. Now I see. This is what Death meant when he said there were two castles.
New map, yo! Pew, 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 pew. Castle A and B. Castle A? Castle B. People really didn't know how 3D games should be controlled until... Oh, yeah. They didn't know how they should be controlled until about Halo. Yep, basically. You know, this one might actually be one of my all-time favorite Castlevanias. This one is pretty good. I think this one feels the most like a handheld version of Symphony of the Night versus any of the others. The fuck you up with fire? Halo was a game where people said, oh, that's how it should work. And for years after Halo's release, people would say, oh, this game has the Halo controls. That's how people referred to games where you controlled the camera with the right stick. Such a novel idea at the yeah, and then you had, didn't they used to call first-person shooters like Doom clones back in the day? Like, yes, some of them were just definitely Doom clones, like Wolfenstein and all that, but, like, they didn't have the term first-person shooter originally. They just went with a thing that's like, oh, this plays like this. It's kind of like the old version of Souls-like. They didn't have the phrase action RPG to give you an idea of what the game is like. They would just say, oh, it's like Dark Souls. You ever play Dark Souls? It's like Dark Souls. Back in the day, first-person shooters would be like, Marathon? Yeah, it's like Doom. You ever play Doom? It plays like Doom. Yeah, basically Halo did for controller-based 3D games what Doom did for PC. It's kind of funny that now things like Doom are no longer referred to as like Doom-likes or whatever, and now they're just called boomer shooters. I remember my dad was really, really into Marathon back when those were first coming out. I don't remember much about those games, but I remember watching him play those and take notes and stuff. So I don't really remember what those games were like, but I know that Marathon is making a resurgence, and they're making it, it sounds like it's Halo Cross, Overwatch, which is a weird combination, especially for what my memory of Marathon was. I mean, that's why the N64 controller only had one joystick. I just didn't know at the time they needed a second joystick to control the camera. Concept hasn't been invented yet. I would argue that they didn't know the correct way to implement it, because I seem to remember... No, never mind. No, that's right, because the thing of it was did you ever play Turok back in the day? Turok definitely had a weird control scheme. It was one of the only ones where I had to actually like grab the controller differently. And I don't remember how differently I grabbed it, but I feel like it was one of the ones where you didn't use the joystick. You use the D-pad and the C buttons, maybe? I don't know. But the N64 definitely didn't know how to do that shit. Later, bitch! Thank you. Never played Turok. I did play GoldenEye, though. Yeah, GoldenEye was a different animal. Even PS1 games didn't make use of the right stick correctly, right? Because all of the PS1 games tried to get away with just utilizing the D-pad back in the day. And even when they came out with the original DualShock controller, nobody actually knew how to use the sticks to program. Everybody was still figuring out how 3D should control. Yep. Yeah. It's really funny that the DualShock came out and people still didn't really understand how to utilize two sticks. Okay, I remember this. Here we go! Best way to do this is definitely by sliding. So I'm racing that pinball right now. And the fastest way to move in this game is a slide. I'm gonna have to do this again because there's a thing over there in the corner that I could slide under. There we go. We did it. Healing mail and a heart choker. Very good. Healing mail lowers it significantly, but when I'm standing still, this will restore my HP. Heart choker increases the appearance of big hearts, but it lowers luck and defense. No. Of course, you can imagine that it would have been unintuitive at the time. Like, how can you aim with the right stick and still press buttons? It doesn't sound like a good design. Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, it's like, you look at the fucking N64 controller and be like, yeah, people could make the argument that using the right hand to push buttons and also control a camera doesn't make a lot of sense. But also, how are people supposed to simultaneously have three hands to grab this thing? Like, it really was just like the Wild West of video game shit back in the day. Like, I don't know. What if we used two joysticks? I don't know. What if we had a joystick, a D-pad, and C buttons, and then also an A and B? And then Sega's over here like, what if we had 6 buttons for them to push on the face, and a D-pad? So you have A1 and A2, B1, B2, like shit. Nobody knew what to do. And then Sony came out with the dual joystick thing, and people were like, oh, yeah, you know what, that makes sense. Remember when I emulated GoldenEye and mapped the C buttons to the right stick, so it was a really bad version of Halo's controls, but my god, it was so much better. Alright. So we did the pinball maze, and we got the tanuki as well. Back up we go. Making some good progress with this tonight. Okay, don't need to go there. Yeah, fucking hold R to aim. They still didn't they still did that shit on Metroid Prime. Yep, that was the thing that made... It's really interesting that the one thing that the Wii did really, really, really well was... You know what? Let's take these games where aiming was atrocious and then make them motion controls and see how that does. And it made the best version of the original Resident Evil 4 to play, and it made the best version of the Metroid Prime games. Best way to experience the Metroid Prime games. This way and then down. Ooh, it's time for a boss. What do we got? Oh, it's the iBoss. Brought to you by Apple. Dead. Oh, God! No, stay right there. Stop whipping your dealy whipper. No, we went into invincibility on my last use of that shit. Damn it. The GameCube wasn't designed for Halo controls either, because Halo was either just coming out or hadn't come out yet. But then after the GameCube games started using the C-Sticks to aim, which they clearly hadn't designed the C-Sticks to be used for that, but Halo controls were just over... I mean, like, the C buttons and the C-Stick... I mean, when you think about what the C stands for... It was only meant for the camera. And nobody could think of ever using the camera in a way that was like smooth. It had to be just like choppy, shoving the camera left and right. I think that's the thing that really changed stuff, is while they used the camera in things like Mario 64, oh god, he burst into smaller eyeballs. Smooth camera controls is what really boosted gaming. Yeah, the C buttons and the C stick were designed for very specific camera movements. Woo! Got me an elixir! That's good, because I just wasted mine on that dude. You ever wonder what the next kind of controller might be? Like, I don't think that there's another controller that they could possibly make that makes as much sense gameplay-wise as something like the Xbox Elite or the PS5. Like, just the DualShock design. I don't really think that another controller makes sense, unless there's like some sort of like gameplay component. The Kaiser knuckle. that makes it to where it's like, oh, well, you gotta have the Q stick. You know? It is kind of funny to think, where is gaming going? Like, they keep on focusing on realistic graphics and good, like, smooth 60 FPS bullshit all the time, but it's like, at some point, you're just going to hit that, and there's not going to be any sort of, like, new hotness that people are super jazzed about, you know? At least Nintendo, love them or hate them, does shit that's like, oh, wow, they got, I don't know, whatever the next motion control or 3D slider gimmick is going to be. Everybody else is just kind of like, nah, we don't need to do that shit. So it's like, what? How is gaming going to evolve in the next 10 years? It's clearly not going to be VR. I feel like VR's time should have been already, and people just weren't willing to buy into it, and nobody was willing to develop for it. Let's control. Let me take the joysticks, face button, swap them. At the time, prevailing mindset was the game itself would keep the camera oriented in the direction it needed to be for the player. Would only have to make minor adjustments. So I have this controller that lets me take the joysticks and face buttons off and swap them around, so I can make it like an Xbox or PS controller, whatever fits the game. I think that's the future. So nice to be able to change the D-pad to the top for fighting games, or change out the joysticks for more face buttons. True. Swapping out to make controllers basically other controllers is a nice feature. Which is why the PS Pro and Xbox Elite controllers are as nice as they are. But I want to know what like the next step is going to be. Oh God, it's Legion. Saint. Just a ball of bodies. Oh yo! Oh yo! Oh yo! And now we go into the octopus form. Ah! Uh-oh. 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 Oh, the octopus arms don't actually hurt me unless they're shooting their little laser beams? Really? Interesting. Wow, that was the weakest form of Legion I think I've ever fought. I don't think there really is anywhere to go from where we are in terms of design. It's like, how do you create better action for a firearm than a trigger? Yeah, and then like you look at things like cars, and it's like, well, I mean, we can do things like make them electric and whatever, but ultimately it's just tweaking the original design, which isn't broken. We're just making things run differently or whatever. So it really is just tweaking at this point. Ergonomically, I feel like the PlayStation controllers and the DualShock controller and the Xbox Elite controller are exactly the shape that controller should be for human hands. Of course, they always have to do things that will make their controller different than the other guys, and so we get stuck with bullshit like the share button and all that. But as far as like actual design goes, the basic DualShock or the Xbox controller are really where it's at. I feel like once you hit the speed of thought, it's maximum efficiency for the way something controls. I mean, hell, yeah, they're apparently using controllers like that to pilot subs that to the Titanic. So I guess the design is at least somewhat somewhat good for just general controlling of things. Come here, buddy. Why is he attacking me with like a chicken foot? See that? He's just got a fucking chicken foot in his hand. Think like a D-pad for 2D games. The moment you think about moving left, you're just moving left. You cannot get more efficient than a D-pad. Yeah, and also the D-pad is the best way to play a 2D game. I absolutely hate playing 2D games with a joystick. It just, unless the game allows for you to do movements in more than just left, right, up, and down, the D-pad is the de facto way to experience 2D games. Oh god, what the hell are you? Melty zombie? Okay. Where even am I? Choo-choo-choo. Oh, I don't even have a map for this place yet. See, what I hate, when they feel the need to animate the character stopping and turning around, so you have to wait for the animation cycle to finish before the character does what you want. It's a game. It should be that shit should be instant. I don't think this is going to end with a save room. Feeling this is going to end with like a life up or something. Yep. The long hallways always end with like a life up. Did you see that GTA 6 got a trailer? I did. And I've also heard that the reason why GTA 6 is delayed until 2026 is not because of the story mode. It sounds like the story mode is done. Done. You can play it beginning to end, no issues. They are trying to make sure that the online component is as good as it can be. Which honestly is a good idea, because the thing that made GTA 5 last as long as it did wasn't because, oh man, people just love playing as those three rapscallions over and over and over. It was the online shit. So GTA 5 or GTA 6 as a story mode could totally release like tomorrow. But GTA 6 as GTA 6 Online apparently needs more time. Hello, what is up, Toko? And then another thing to consider is I think it would be very foolhardy for Rockstar to release the next GTA in the year that a console that isn't going to be supporting the game releases. So you maximize the fact that your game is the best-selling game of the year because you don't have the new hotness hardware releasing at the same time. Wants to maximize its profits. Exactly right. Okay, guys, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to get one more beer, and we will continue on in just a second. The visuals in the trailer actually look insane. There were some scenes I almost thought it was video recording. Still bewildered at how GTA 5 has made billions. GTA 5 has made more money than some of the most popular Marvel movies. Like, how is that possible? But also consider this. I finished pharmacy school in 2013, and that's when GTA 5 came out. And they are just now making or going to release GTA 6. What is it? 13 years later. Yeah. I feel like the reason why Skyrim is as popular as it is now as it was back in the day is purely because of the community surrounding it and making mods. GTA 5 just... Oh, the turnaround time. Gotcha. Yeah. GTA 5 is the only game of its kind. Yeah, basically. Any other game that tries to encroach on it, like, God, you can use like a dildo bat. Saints Row. Like, Saints Row was the game that came the closest, and even they couldn't touch it. Without mods, nobody would be playing Skyrim in 2025. Well, now they've got Oblivion, and people can mod the shit out of that. I wonder if Skyrim sees a drop-off. I find the world of Oblivion just so much more interesting than Skyrim, honestly. Well, the last Saints Row game sucked ass. Yeah, but Saints Row 2 and 3 were pretty popular. But only in the realm of, like, GTA likes, I think. Okay, I got a pee-pee. I will be back. Okay. Saints Row 4 was unironically the best superhero game of its time. Yeah, honestly. Like, until the Spider-Man games, the more recent ones, like the Miles Morales and whatever games, Saints Row 4 was actually a really, really, really good superhero game. Mentioned Oblivion. I was thinking the other day about what separated that game from Skyrim. I think really it just comes down to the world itself. Yep. I'm telling you, the thing that always turns me off every time I try to play Skyrim is the world is just boring. The world's just boring. Oblivion felt like you were exploring a new world. Skyrim felt like you were watching a Game of Thrones spin-off miniseries. Yep. Hi, little girl. Come here. Come here. Little girl. Here we go. You get a trinket. Oh, do, 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 do. Oh, do, 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 do. Oh, do, do. Oh, do, 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 do. She still won't let Cal pet her. She's kind of like a cat where Cal comes close to her and she's like, yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here, and goes to another spot to lay down. Banjo will just kind of like lay there, and until you bother him enough, he doesn't go anywhere. The most genius move they made in Oblivion was they started you off facing away from the city, and from there you can just take off in any direction, create your own story. According to Wikipedia, Minecraft has sold over 300 million copies and brought in 30 billion. GTA 5 in number 2 at 200 million copies and over 8 billion. What's the best-selling Nintendo game? I don't like that. That's really lame. Wii Sports, says Ratter. And you know what's funny about Wii Sports being bundled? Reggie Fils-Aimé was the one that pushed for Wii Sports to be bundled with the Wii. In Japan, it was its own separate game, and you had to buy it separately. It's crazy to me to think that Nintendo Japan didn't bundle Wii Sports with the Wii. Mario Kart 8. Yep, that makes sense. Love it or hate it, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe really, really moved units and moved products and everything. Like, shit. I can't wait to try Mario Kart World. Toko, you weren't here in the beginning, but I was saying how how Nintendo gave me the ability to pre-order the Switch 2 through them, finally. I thought that they weren't actually going to go through with that because of all Trumpy's tariffs bullshit and whatever, but they gave the Nintendo customers the ability to pre-order the Switch 2 today, and so I was actually able to get the Mario Kart World bundle, which I wasn't able to whenever I first pre-ordered through Best Buy. Yes, it costs a little bit more, but then you consider the fact that Mario Kart 8 is going to cost $80 new and used, let's be honest. So getting it for an additional $50, a game that I would be getting anyways, initially will make the price be like, but in the long run, it's like, well, I mean, I was going to buy this thing anyways, so whatever. But yeah, I'm super stoked to try out Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart World. And the one thing that I'm most excited about playing on Switch 2 is definitely Metroid Prime 4. Be no such thing as used anymore with all digital downloads. Yep, exactly. That is precisely the reason why Nintendo needs to be cool with either doing lower prices for digital downloads or actually putting their games on discount more often. Some sources say Wii Sports, at over 80 million sold, may be outdated. Nintendo never gets with the times, though, so I'm not holding my breath in that regard. Oh yes, I'm enjoying the stream as well. Oh! Thank you, Outstanding. I'm glad that you were here. It's always nice to make a new friend. I'm glad that I haven't been boring you and that you haven't hit that unsubscribe button. There will be no such thing as owned, for that matter. Nintendo may single-handedly put GameStop out of business. It's always an honor. Well, thank you. You get one of these.
Thank you!
Stay with me, kids. Recurrent user spending. Yeah. God damn it! Like that's the thing that I am going to my dying breath, be old man yells at cloud about. I want to own my movies, my games, my music. I want to be able to own it. I don't want to have to rely on Spotify to listen to a new Taylor Swift album. I don't want to have to rely on the internet to be able to download a new Mario game. I don't want to have to rely on Netflix to watch a new James Bond movie or something. Like, I don't like the idea of it's digital or nothing. I want the physical media. I want the actual CD. I want the actual game with the game content on the cartridge. I don't want to have to be at the mercy of a internet download. It just sucks. And then all of a sudden, the online service goes away, and now you can't download this thing anymore, even though you paid $80 to be able to play the game. But the Nintendo Online service has gotten an update to where it's Nintendo Online 2.0, and we're not going to support 1.0, and all of a sudden these indie games that you bought will no longer be available to you, and you have to buy them again on 2.0. Like, that shit is upsetting. Jill wants his freedom of entertainment during the apocalypse. Exactly! Like, Radder and I have been watching through King of the Hill on DVD recently. By the way, they're going to be doing series revitalization at the end of May, so you know, if you like King of the Hill, they're going to be continuing that, so that's pretty cool. But I digress. We've been watching it on DVD, and it's been really nice to not have to sit and listen to a bunch of commercials halfway through the episode, and you just don't get that anymore. The rest of the software industry has already gotten to this point where you don't just buy the software, you buy a license for software that expires every year, or you can do monthly. Games are going to get to that point, it's just a matter of time. Yeah, everything is basically going to become Xbox Game Pass. You know? Like, you can play all these games, but as soon as you don't give us that monthly subscription fee, then fuck you. You don't get our games. Later. Let's see here. Need to go this way. Not even Xbox Game Pass. That's way too much value. I think like Xbox Game Pass, but per game. Yeah. Okay, so I think I need to go all the way to the right and then up. Go to the fishies. Face the wrong way. I'm an idiot. Okay. Oh, this is neither here nor there, but one thing that I hope that they're waiting for, as far as, like, the Metroid Prime games go, like, they made Metroid Prime Remastered, right? I am hoping that they are going to make a Prime Remastered for 2 and 3, and... oh, that's why I couldn't do it. And basically do what they did for, like, the Wind Waker or whatever, HD, where, like, they'll take the game and they'll take the thing that people found the most, like, monotonous about it and streamline it to where, like, it's no longer monotonous, and make the games really, really good. Because I would fucking love that for Metroid Prime 2. Metroid Prime 2 was a slog at some point. And somebody made a point that I saw on Reddit the other day that I'm like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Metroid Prime 2 is the Majora's Mask of Metroid Primes. It's like, you either love it or you hate it. Like, there's no in between. I'm excited for Asus ROG Ally I ordered. Ooh, you got one of those? That'll be cool. Let me know how you like it. Have you played on a Steam Deck before? Because I really want to know what the Asus ROG Ally feels like versus a Steam Deck. Not even Xbox Game Pass. Like, for instance, I have the Microsoft Office Suite, and they bill me for that shit every year. Unless you really love spreadsheet reports. Yeah, Adobe 2, you'd buy a box with the software disk, and once you have that, you have the version of Photoshop forever. Now it's a monthly subscription. I haven't played Steam Deck. Ally was on sale for $400. That's a pretty good deal. Yeah, veterans of the channel will remember that back in the day, the monetary goal for every month was, I think, $60, and that was just so that Radder could pay for the license of Adobe. Ally seems slightly better than the Steam Deck, except for no mouse pads. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't... Well... I gotta say, like, whenever I play the Steam Deck, I don't really utilize the mouse pads. That's just for, like, Rather trying to feed her addiction. I seem to remember just, using that for, navigating menus, not in-game, so, wow, it was cheaper back then. Now Adobe Cast costs $250. Ugh. Why so much? Why does everything cost so much nowadays? I hate it. It was $60 a month. Oil! everything is too expensive now. If you're in America, it's just gonna get worse. So apparently they elected a new pope today, and if I were that guy, I wouldn't let JD Vance anywhere near the Vatican. We all saw what happened to the last pope that talked to JD. He was the first U.S. pope, really? I didn't know that. I knew he was from Chicago, but I didn't realize he was the first U.S. pope. That's pretty cool. That's what I was about to say. Oh, God. Hilarious. And apparently this guy put JD in his place with a tweet shortly before the last pope died. And so I don't think he's going to be inviting anybody from this presidency to the Vatican anytime soon, if at all. Yeah, if I were that guy, I would definitely avoid anybody with the letters J or D in his name. Shit, I'm worried the U.S. Pope is going to be an inside man for Trump. Oh, God. I hate that could be a real thing. Instead of white smoke, a bald eagle carrying an AR-15 emerged from the Vatican. We're all ripe for the parody. I don't think I want to go this way. Not yet. Pope Camacho! President Camacho! You know, I would rather have President Camacho than Trump, honestly. The president from Idiocracy seemed a lot more willing to do things for the American people, for the betterment of the American people, than this guy. That's what I was saying the other day. At least, Camacho was obviously like a pompous asshole, but at least he did what was best for his country. This one is Leo the 14th. Wonder if the next one will be Don or Raphael. Ha! I get it. Like the Ninja Turtles. Oil! No. Just a heart upgrade. Did we have a Michelangelo yet? You know, I'm just the worst Catholic ever, because I don't even remember what the name of the last pope was. We all watched as Idiocracy went from being a pessimistic view of the future to a realistic view of the future to optimistic view of the future. Yeah, optimistic is where I'm like, God damn it. Because you're so right. It really is like, man, I wish that we had this thing. Man, I wish that this person was as nice as the idiot from Idiocracy. Francis. That sounds right. Francis. That sounds right. Damn it. Okay. I really need that stupid, metal tip one. Metal tip attachment. Keep coming across all these things that are like, slightly broken wall, but you can't break it yet. No, no, no. No, no, no. You didn't say the magic word. You know, going back to what we were talking about just a little bit ago, about owning media. You know what I really wish that they would come out with again? An iPod. Just a new iPod. I want a device, a proprietary device for listening to my music. And hell, you could make the iPod have like a streaming feature so you could still do Pandora and Spotify. But yeah, I just want a way to listen to my music. You okay up there? Ryder's going to die before she sees her first Mother's Day. Mama is going to Disneyify herself, and I'm going to be left as the widowed father that has to raise the child alone. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, Robert Francis Prevost wanted a new name, I guess. King size bed was a foot wide. What? Okay, got all the items here. Widowed father. Well, isn't that what... If your spouse dies, that makes you a widow, right? Like, it's a genderless term, isn't it? I mean, you typically hear it with women, but... What is it called if, the wife dies... If somebody's wife dies, you're a widow, right? Or is there a different term? Widower? Widower. I don't like that because it makes it sound like you killed your spouse. A widower makes it sound like somebody who makes widows. Interesting. Today I learned. No, that's Lady Killer Widowmaker. Widowmaker sounds like a weapon in Castlevania. What was your very good joke? Okay, I guess I do go up. Widower makes it sound like somebody who makes a widow makes widows. I said a man whose wife dies is known as a free man. Oh, I guess I couldn't hear your joke all the way back in the 1990s. Ah, Spriggan! What a silly character. He looks like, oh, who's that, not Balrog. Sagat. He looks like Sagat from Street Fighter without arms, and they gave him little angel wings. Let me see if I can find another one so you guys can see. He's got like the boxer shorts. Just little angel wing Sagats. I feel like that has a much more disturbing meaning coming from a woman. Axe armor 2. That might have actually been what she was going for, and it just didn't click for me at first. Damn you, Spectre. Spectre? I hardly know her. I feel like that's one of the most common jokes that we make on this channel. Anything that ends in ER, I hardly know her. Fighter, I hardly know her. Ratter's mind sinks to the depths so quickly that I have to play catch up. Like it takes me a while for my mind to sink though. What next? That's gonna be locked off. What's this? Hint card 6. What? The red book and the dagger share a secret. Hop in the gutter with me. Space. The sludge feels fine. Poo rat. Oh, I don't have that sound anymore. I actually had an appropriate sound. No. It was JonTron saying, "Is that a poop rat?" I'm sad. It is sealed. I get big mana prism and nothing. Goody. Ah! Is that a poop rat? So you know what I realized the other day? Back in the day, I would watch so many video game YouTubers, and now I just don't. And the only one that I watch that's like actually video game themed or video game specific is Scott the Woz. And I only watch him because he doesn't like do a YouTube video on the newest whatever game. He'll just like do a YouTube video on interesting things like, I don't know, the launch titles for every Nintendo handheld or whatever. Something like that. But I don't watch any video game YouTubers anymore. The only one that survived all these years for me is Peanut Butter Gamer, and I don't even watch his video game stuff anymore. I watch his I'm gonna eat this food and talk about it, or I'm going to open these Happy Meal toys and talk about it. Like, he's the only one that survived, but I think that's only because his content evolved. And it makes me kind of sad because I know that an era of my life is over, but also it's kind of like I just don't have time to do it anymore. Especially shit like back in the day where I would watch all of the Completionist, and I don't watch them for other reasons, but also I just kind of got tired of watching the videos about completing a video game and everything, and it's like, no thank you. I still watch Angry Joe, but yeah, I stopped watching just about everybody. It just feels so manufactured these days. Yeah. That's the thing, is like, it really, really, really does feel fake. Oh, you know what? I can go over there. Let's do that. Speaking of completionist space, I think I'm pretty sure Gerard is gone at this point. Like, he doesn't make any new episodes, or hasn't made any new episodes. I haven't heard anybody say anything about him in recent years, or recent months, but I think he might be done, which, honestly, that's fine, but it's kind of crazy to think that, it just takes one person to bring to light a situation, and it completely upends somebody's livelihood. Now, I'm not saying that what he was doing is right. It's just, in general, it's crazy to me that, like, it just takes one little small thing to come to light, and that's it for you. You're done. Go home. Hope you have another way of making money, because this ain't it. Yeah, unless you want to be president. Dude, I remember Cinemassacre Game Grumps. It all felt so much like you were a part of something intimate, and you were a part of this secluded community where people just appreciated games. Yeah, that's another thing. Is like Game Grumps back in the day felt so much more fun, and now it's just yep, they're Danny and Aaron, basically. Yeah, they're doing another Monopoly episode. Oh, look at that. They're playing Danganronpa 3. Can't wait to hear all the same voices that Aaron does for everything, and have this be 900 episodes. I don't know. I also feel like they played all of the games that I would actually be interested in watching them play, is the thing. Is like, one of the things that makes me want to watch streamers the most is when I know that they haven't played a certain game, and this is going to be their first time. Like, yeah, okay. It's exciting, right? But also, like, I realize that one of the reasons why I like to watch streamers is because they are experiencing this thing for the very, very first time. Now, I do watch a lot of streamers that I watch because of their personalities, but I will be honest, if they're doing something like, I'm gonna play Fallout 4 for the first time, I'm gonna play Skyrim for the first time, I just don't want to watch it. That's it. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna watch the VOD and watch everything up until you start playing the game, and then I'm just going to fuck off after that. I want to feel like part of it is just overexposure, but something about it feels distinctly different, and I really think it's because now making YouTube videos is a profession and not a hobby. Streamers were so much more interesting when they weren't professional streamers. Yeah, it felt a lot more genuine, is the thing. Like, somebody would play a thing, and they weren't doing it for clicks. They were doing it because they actually wanted to do it or talk about it or whatever, but now it's like, I've got a sponsorship deal with Cabbage Patch Kids, so now we're gonna play all the, I don't know where I'm going with that, but you know what I mean. Like, it feels like everything has like a monetary ulterior motive behind it. So nothing feels genuine. Nobody feels like they're... See, I think... if I may be so bold, I think that's why you have stuck with me and Radder for as long as you have, Space, is we don't do this stuff because we are, like, being sponsored by Konami to play a Castlevania game or play Persona 5 or whatever. You're here because we're actually just playing the games and, having fun and talking with y'all. Like, that's all we're doing. And there's no other reason to why we're doing it. But everybody else is like, today we're sponsored by Infinite Nikki or Genshin Impact or something like that. So it feels like there's always some reason behind why they're doing what they're doing. There's a parasocial aspect to me being here, but also it gives me a reason to not be working. True. That's, I appreciate your honesty with that. No, I lowered the thing. I just remembered that I lowered a thing, and it had an item on top of it, but now I can't remember where that was, where the top of it was. I think it's over here. But see, I think that's the air that we really give off, is like, we're not trying to impress anybody. If we were, we would be playing like the latest hotness and trying to chase like stream norms, whatever. There it is. Yes, the crushing stone. Yes. Oh, that lowers my attack greatly. I'm not gonna do that. But I think one of the things that's like really appealing about us is we don't actually just like chase trends. We just play what we want to. Also, I like chatting, and this feels like the only time where I can just dump random thoughts in the chat and not be unwarranted. Yeah, and also, it feels like you can actually like talk with the streamer. This is purely because we're such a small channel, obviously, but our chats move slow enough to where it's like, well, you don't gotta do a super chat. They actually read the chat, and they'll acknowledge it, unless it's something like really, really out of pocket, you know? So that's nice. Okay. Where was I? Okay, I got the crushing stone. God, I don't know. Now I gotta go through and find all the spots where I can actually use the crushing stone. So the crushing stone is like one of the most... Oh, this opens up like a large portion of the game. The item. I've seen more and more streamers trying to read chat as well, the way that y'all do. I think there is an element of, oh, hey, this internet person is talking back to me. Makes it more entertaining. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It makes me feel very special or seen or just like noticed whenever somebody that I enjoy watch streaming acknowledges a comment that I made. So there's always an element to that. I got the Heart of Vlad! What does that do? Oh, it'd probably be under relics. The Heart of Vlad. Negate petrification. Interesting. Okay. Alright, we got that. I want to say that there was another place that had something that a wall that I could break here, but I can't remember. We're getting pretty close to the end of this stream anyways, but honestly, getting the crushing stone is a very big step in the right direction with this game. I don't think there's a single power-up in this game that is more... yeah, here we go. That gives you more of an opening than when you get the crushing stone. See? Oh, God. It goes right into a boss area. Alright. Let's go!
Oh, I see you're still alive. Maxim. No, you're not Maxim. Ha! You're on to me. What the hell are you? I am myself. Just not the me that you knew in the past. This man's suppressed desires, coupled with his possession of Dracula's remains, gave rise to a separate spirit, and that other spirit is me. I'm not sure if he's even aware of my existence. But it was also you who kidnapped Lydia. Of course it was my doing. She belongs to me. But he went and lost his memory and doesn't even know where she is. But he will retrieve his memory soon. When he does, she'll be mine. Damn you! Sure about that? If I die, your best friend will perish with me. Ah! Your death is at hand. Die, you vile dog!
Also, I was at a very strange place when I started watching y'all stream, really still socially adjusting to interactions with other people, as baffling as it sounds for a 30-year-old. Honestly, in today's day and age, it doesn't sound nearly as baffling as it probably did back in the day. If it makes you feel better, I feel like that's becoming more of the norm nowadays than just being completely socially savvy. And I'm one of those people that, like, I very much only keep in contact with like a few people because I find... Oh, he's already dead. Nice. I find staying up to, or having so many people in my social circle to be extremely draining. So I'm a person that knows that he doesn't want a ton of people in his life, but I didn't really realize that until later on, if that makes sense. My social battery is very limited, to be honest. I think I am absolutely at my happiest whenever I am by myself. And that sounds really sad, but honestly, that's just kind of the person that I've been my entire life. And maybe it is sad, but it's my normal. And it gives me peace of mind when I only have myself to have to worry about. Something that puts great stress on me is making sure that people that I care about are never disappointed. And that's not always an attainable thing. So you can imagine how much stress that puts on a person who already is just kind of like, I just want to be by myself, but like wanting to make sure that people that I love don't feel like I hate them. Puts a lot of stress on me. Yeah, and the crazy blah blah blah. And the scary thing is that I keep hearing more and more people talk about unschooling. So basically, people are raising their kids how I was raised, and I feel nothing but pain for those kids. And it's crazy to think that that's kind of just becoming the norm, and that doesn't make it a good thing. And it becoming normalized like that doesn't make it okay. But it seems to be just what it is, unfortunately. And I definitely don't want to downplay your experience, because I've heard you talk about it before, and just how absolutely traumatizing it was for you as a person and socially and like all that, and completely understand. It's just crazy to me that your experience is kind of just becoming accepted as a norm. Unschooling should be considered child abuse on par with any other child abuse imaginable. It almost guarantees that your kid will go into the world with social maturity of a small child. Yeah, that's the thing, is like people don't seem to understand the value. One of the greatest values of having your kid go through the public school system, or at least the public school system when I was a kid, I'm not sure about now, but one of the values of having your kid go through the public school system is it would acclimate them to understanding social cues and whatnot. And while some of the time those social experiences were not great for their mental health, at least it also put them in a mindset of like, oh, not everybody is going to be my friend, not everybody has my best interest in mind. There are going to be people like that out in the world, so they could at least prepare themselves, at least somewhat, to the idea that there are bullies, there are people that are just going to dislike you because they just want to dislike you. And you don't get that with people being homeschooled and whatever, and unschooled and everything. Yeah, just having a group of people to grow up with, you learn so much about life, and it equips you to make the right choices. Yeah, I had to learn the hard way who my friends were and who wasn't. Like, there was a period of my life where I'm not proud of this, but I would specifically not hang out with Toko because these other people that I considered my friends back in the day were wanting me to hang out with them. And I was like, yeah, I like these guys so much better, and blah, 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 because I was a dumb kid. And you really don't understand the quality of a friend until you have good ones, or you don't know the good ones until you have the bad ones. Psh, Togo, fuck that motherfucker. You don't know just how good the good ones are until you have the bad ones. And that's why I am still friends with Toko to this day, is I was at least, oh, well, I can't do that. I was at least able to figure out that he was a true friend and not somebody that would be friendly towards me at times, but ultimately, like one of those old Dane Cook jokes. If I can dust off this nutshell really quick. I was that one friend that people would keep in the group so that somebody had somebody to constantly like hate on, you know? Like be like, oh my god, did you see the thing that Mike did the other day? Oh, what a loser. Like everybody was happy that they weren't the Mike of the group. See, the whole experience you're describing is something that I completely missed. I never got the opportunity to form relationships that way. Yeah, see, that's exactly my point. It's like people who were homeschooled or unschooled and all that never got to see the different kinds of relationships that there were in the world. And that's exactly my point. It's like, you can't have a kid go through life without figuring out that there are different relationships and different relationship types, and there are people that you will be actually good be compatible with, and people that will be complete assholes to you. And sometimes they're complete assholes to you for absolutely no other reason besides, I don't know, I'm bored. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I would like for Cal to definitely go through public school, or whatever public school looks like whenever he's actually of age. I don't know what that shit's gonna look like, but I digress. I do not want him to just not experience the social aspect, because I almost feel like the social aspect is the more important of the experiences than the actual learning bit. Sorry, I was opening a new monitor. Oh, we was saying he was a piece of shit. Yeah, I can see why. Yeah, we were just talking about like how what's it called? Public school gave us the opportunity to see what relationships we wanted to focus on, and relationships that we learned that we don't need to keep in our lives. And there were times where I wouldn't hang out with you because other friends were like, oh hey, we're gonna go do this thing. It's like, oh, cool, alright, I want to go hang out with them. And then ultimately they were pieces of shit, and, well, I mean, there's a reason why I'm friends with you to this day and not them, so, yeah. Socialization as a child is very important. Yeah, homeschooling can be fine if you have a homeschool group where your kids go to school and form social bonds with other basically like a real school experience. Unschooling can be should be a felony. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Everything that you have said does definitely make it sound like child abuse. Anyone who unschools their kid should have to stand trial for that crime, in my opinion. I agree with that. Okay, I am going to work my way back to the other castle now that I have the crushing stone. And after I do that, I'll be able to save, and I think that is where we will end it for tonight. Yeah, it's kind of funny how not exposing your child to something like bullies or the experience of people not wanting to invite you to their birthday party or whatever is almost worse than it actually is worse than exposing them to situations like that, because it's one of those things where, like, they're not going to be able to figure out how to what's it called? Sort out those feelings about being denied by peer groups or whatever, if they don't have a basis of the knowledge when they're younger. It's like the parents who don't vaccinate their kids. Oh yeah, very true. It's like, yeah, maybe this won't have a lasting effect on the child, but ultimately, why not expose them to it? Hello. Oh, hello. Hi. Yes, he is. Whenever we go on walks, he'll point at things and go, duh,
Yeah, he's doing that at Costco too.
duh. It's like, what do you see? You gotta use your words. Duh. It's like parents who don't spay and neuter their pets. Duh. Cal will only make sounds consistently that start with the letter D. He won't do any other sounds. We've been trying to work with him to say mama by the time Mother's Day comes around, but that is just not going to happen. He's not even, like, making sounds, so I don't think mama is in the cards for this boy. Yeah. Mama. Mama. And he goes into a slew of da 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 da. And it's not even just bullying and whatnot, but just give your kids a chance to learn what forming relationships looks like. Imagine growing up without even having a relationship with anyone of any sort outside of family, and then go out into the world as a man and figure your shit out. As much as people talk about their awkward moments in high school or whatever, that's the age where you're supposed to have those awkward moments. Exactly. And these are all reasons why I think public school has more merit than private school and homeschooling, honestly. That's true. Right. In private school, it's a smaller sample size, so you're less likely to get a wide variety of experiences. Let's see here. Okay. We're just about there. Back out. Ooh, everything popped. Wow, I've explored so much of Castle B. 5-layer burrito door. 5-layer burrito door. Okay. All right. That's a good amount done, man. Look at all that. Damn. Oh, little boy be walking. Be walking and somewhat talking.
He's trying to let go so he can dig inside the coffee table. But I'm not letting him.
All right, y'all. That's going to do it for me for tonight. Little boy's got to have his bath. I still got to eat dinner. Thank you all for joining me for another Castlevania stream. On Monday, Ryder will be continuing Persona 5, possibly finishing up the Shido's dungeon. Possibly. At least finishing up the Akechi fight. And then I will be continuing this on Tuesday. Everybody be sure to wish Ryder a happy Mother's Day on Sunday. And for all of you who are watching, who have wives, mothers, whatever, happy Mother's Day to them. I have been chill. You have been awesome. And like we always say, good night. And don't let the unschooling bite. Because it apparently does in major ways. Good night, y'all.